There's a different point of view when you don't grow up immersed in racism.
But what specifically do you understand about where he's coming from with that statement?
I feel exactly the same way as far as not wanting to jump on a bandwagon just because something big is happening. That's not to say, in this particular case, it's not to say that I didn't cry for Trayvon, because I did. I cried for him as if he was my own child.
I mean, of course, as a general statement, you shouldn't jump on a bandwagon without looking at the facts as accurate. But the problem is, why is he suggesting that people in the Trayvon Martin case are doing that? Why is he assuming that LeBron or any of the people are doing that in this case? Like, if I say 2 + 2 is 4, and then G-Man says, no, 2 + 2 is 5 is a liar, you're a liar. I agree that you shouldn't tell lies, but that doesn't mean I see where G-Man's coming from in this case, because nobody's lying in this case.
It's a different thing. I mean, when I first got here, I was 12, so I had a long time. And my father is from here, my mother is from here, and my dad left because of when Malcolm X was killed. He covered the trial for the New York Post.
Wow.
And he was present, and he said he didn't like the fact that they were trying to railroad all 3 of them in the same trial. He said one of them was clearly innocent and the other 2 were not, and he was completely disgusted, and he picked up and we left. And that's why we left.
He pulled a Richard Wright into the expatriate
he was
thing.
like, I'm out. And he took us to a black country because he wanted to take us back to Africa, but we got to Jamaica. And in Jamaica, everybody looked like me, right? But I was still American, I was still foreign, so I was caught in a weird position of growing up where everyone looks like me and racism is not a factor, but knowing that I was American. So my father would always tell me about racism, and, like, I literally couldn't comprehend what that was like. And when I got here, the first year that I was here, we were at Central Park, and this white kid, we were on a tire swing, and my sister tried to get on the swing and she didn't see the person next to her, and she pushed the person, and the kid turned around and said, that's the problem with black kids, they're always pushing. And I was like, what? But I wasn't hurt.
Right.
I wasn't mad. I was like, are you kidding me? What sense does that make? So that's translated to me always examining everything that goes on.
Well, this is interesting to talk about, because, and this is Yusuf, Lamont from the Creative Unity Collective show. I'm doing my crossover cameo here. This man CSI Miami goes on to CSI, right? I agree with the sentiment about not going knee-jerk with certain things. For example, a lot of black folks went knee-jerk defended Clarence Thomas when he was supposedly suffering his high-tech lynching and going through his travails.
Right.
If you really knew the story, it was a lot deeper than that. You don't just jump to people's defenses. That being said, what Kobe said there, this is a case of the broken clock being right at least twice a day. I personally see it as being something of very much of a dodge in his part. I think that was him reacting to the fact that the Miami Heat did their thing, and Kobe, as one of the so-called standouts in the league, one of the public faces of the league, and not having something to say about it, was probably feeling defensive. As the Bard used to say, methinks thou protest too much in his case. But one other thing about it, it simply goes to also show you the thing about Kobe, is that he is most definitely parroting the style of his so-called idol, Michael Jordan. If you remember, during the Senate race I believe it was the early 90s, when the black candidate Harvey Gantt was running against known segregationist racist Jesi Helms in North Carolina, Harvey Gantt was saying he was trying to get as many people as he could. Michael Jackson's father, North Carolina native, hey Michael, come campaign for me, come campaign for me. Harvey Gantt lost that election by 2 percentage points. Michael Jordan did not campaign for him. Willfully said so, and then when questioned about it, why didn't you just come down and campaign for the brother? You weren't going to suffer nothing. And he says, look, in the end, he says, everybody's money is green.
He said Republicans buy Nikes too.
Yeah, Republicans buy Nikes too. He basically said, I cannot afford to take a public stance because, regardless of what I may feel personally, I'm just going to have to sort of hang back here. So this is simply a case, I think, of Kobe definitely living in the footsteps of his idol, doing just like he did. More power to you, Kobe. More like Mike, not.